Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for August 23rd. Okay, a few tickers on my main watch tomorrow. Something new, FSLY, Fastly Inc. This is a brand new IPO from late May. Before I start on this ticker, though, I do want to mention that I've never traded FSLY before. And I just noticed that the float is only 12.4 million. So it's a very, very tiny float, very easily manipulated. Okay. Since I've never traded it before, definitely going to wait a little bit at the open and gauge the price action a little bit and watch it a little bit first. Definitely mine the spread for a stock with this low of a float. The spread could be very hectic. Even though it has higher than relative volume. And the float shortage, the short interest on this stock is 25.25%. So very heavily shorted stock here on the FSLY. Now, the nearest catalyst is that it had a bad earnings reaction on August 8th. Okay, so right here, as you can see on the daily chart on August 9th, it gapped down, right? And then as it tried to come back up the next day, it got sold off. And then we see a little bit of buying back and then a bounce back up. And then eventually it squeezed out. Now, I was looking at this chart and I was looking at the news. And the news headline article, FSLY, was saying that basically the volume increased due to a positive mention by Motley Fool. But I can't find the article. I'm not subscribed to Motley Fool, and I can't find the article. Aside from that, there is no more news catalyst on it. So I'm thinking how or what happened and what caused the stock to run. And then I come to the 5-minute and 1-minute chart over here, and I noticed that the stock didn't run until 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And this was very interesting to me. I'm thinking, okay, if I can't, there's no headline news, why? Why then did it run here and pop up hard and then just ran from there? Why did the volume surge at 1 o'clock? And I'm just thinking to myself like that. Now, it all made sense to me after looking at the stock on the daily chart here. Let's pull up the daily chart real quick. First of all, is an IPO, right? And if we look at the IPO, all IPOs for the near term, very important. Their most important price point is their opening price, which I usually use the color blue to mark off. And as you can see, it's at 21.50. Okay, opening day, first day opening price. It dipped down a little bit, got bought right back up. IPO, a lot of people are interested, and then it just started to sell off from there. Right, so I'm looking at the sell-off. It's just started to sell off from there, and it kind of bounced back up and did its thing, and then eventually it reaches the top again, the first day IPO highs, and it got dumped on again. Okay, so a stock like this, the reason why it dumped here is because on IPO day, people have been holding the bag on the breakout of 25. They bought at 25. The next day, it faked them out again. You see this wake up. They might have bought some more and then hoping that it'll probably come right back, which it never did, right? And coming back over here as it reclaimed the IPO opening price, they probably have bought more as well, and they're holding the bag. And eventually, the stock got right back up to IPO all-time highs, and they dumped it again. This was the chance for them to get out and alleviate the pain for them holding for the past few months. So they got out. You can tell before today, the stock was a failed IPO. Basically, the stock overall has traded under its IPO opening price of $21.50. And if I was a short seller, I'd be shorting it, right? From this area, I'd be shorting it, right? You see a lot of long-term shorts coming in. If I was a short seller, I'd be shorting it on this day for sure. knowing that this was a key psychological area, the all-time highs, I'd be shorting it, and they'd probably be holding it still. And then once the bad earnings reaction came in right here on this day, all these shorts who have been piling in, they really think to themselves, there's nothing to worry about, and they're just holding this. So eventually what happened? Let's take a look at today. The stock came up and grinded slowly, and surprisingly, right at this area at 1 o'clock, it came up to 2150 and busted out. Now, I talked about 2150, right? It was the IPO opening price. And look at here, 2150. As the stock grinded up slowly, there's no volume. It started holding 2150. And then eventually these shorts, this to me is not a buy order. It's not real buying. This is a cover pop. Some large institution or a whale or big boy or whatever who's been holding this short long term decide to mark it out and cover out today right here at 2150 at this price. Okay, and this in turn brought in a lot of momentum buyers. I bet you this move hit all the trade idea scanners out there today around the whole world. And then you get the Momo buyers coming in. You get other shorts that were in there who got squeezed out here. You got them covering a little bit as well. And then the buyers coming in. And now we have established some sort of an uptrend. So that's the way I think about and gauge this price action. I mean, it's the only logical way I can think about how to explain it, right? And now that I know why, the next step I need to do is figure out the how. Tomorrow, what will I do? Now, before I start and continue going on here, I want to mention that I already mentioned that the stock has a very low flow, and with immense volume, this is a 1 minute candle here. I want to show you how far it can go. So 1 minute, this stock moved $1 from the low of 21.83 to the high of 22.85. Okay, so this massive volume 1 minute candle moved the whole dollar. That means you really need to gauge your position properly and risk properly if you're going to be trading this low floater. Okay, knowing that it has the potential to run up $1 on you at any given point. Very dangerous if you are not very averse in your risk management and position sizing. So I don't even advocate newer beginning traders to trade this ticker because it will be dangerous for them if they're not fast enough. With that said, how will I attack this tomorrow? Well, we are coming into a very key psychological whole number of 25, which it closed at in the after hours. So this is a key price point I want to watch. And knowing the all-time highs here at 25.65 area, I'm looking for a gap up, pop, and drop. Okay, mainly because the stock is very overextended. Okay, I think there could be buying from around the $17 mark for the past few days, and like long-term buyers from the 16-17 area, if they were still holding this, then they would probably have a chance to pull profits tomorrow. And looking at this late day buying action and squeezing action, it looks like it wants to squeeze in the pre-market and gap up higher. Okay, so if I were these guys here around the 17 area buying or buying the breakout of 18 here, if I were them, what would I do tomorrow if it gaps up high? I would take profits right away to lock in some of my gains, and that would cause the opening dip. If the stock holds this 25 area on the dip, I would say it's still a long, even though it's so overextended. This 25 area is a key price point if it holds, and it needs to confirm hard for me. It needs to double bottom higher low for me before I buy this very overextendedness. And with that, that would be my long thesis. And if this does hold, it will definitely run back up to high of day to wherever pre-market high is or the morning opening high is. And then from there, it might even bust out and through and continue running up to the moon, because we don't have another resistance area from there anymore. And this is a very low floater and it will attract momentum buying. With that said, that's the long idea. However, I actually like the short idea more. Okay, overall, negative earnings reaction, saying that this is a piece of shit. Failed IPO, also another check mark in my favor. The short, saying that this is a piece of shit. Looking at this trend right now, if I'm going to draw this trend line, it looks like it's going to tap out around the 26 area. Still a piece of shit in my opinion. Being so overextended, knowing that people will pull profits tomorrow, will have a higher probability of pulling profits tomorrow, that in turn makes it a piece of shit. So that's 4 pieces of shit points that I will take the short on at a pop and drop at the open. And from there, I do want to ride it down to the next area of support. Now, the next area of support here I have marked off is at 23.75. And then we also have 22.75 and 21.75. Okay, so here's that 23.75 area. Okay, we're looking at the 30-minute chart. You see how we had this pop-up, massive volume, in and around this closing price, 23.75, and then this dip confirmed the health of the breakout. Okay, so this is support number 1. And then coming down here, I picked off 22.75, which you cannot see here on the 30-minute chart, but you will be able to see it on here, the 1-minute chart. Right here at this price point, this is the 1-minute breakout pullback point, okay? Now, if I try to zoom out a little bit, I wonder if it'll actually tag something. Yeah, okay. So 21.75 from the IPO days. Is this the IPO days? No, this is July 29th. Okay, right here. Let's mark that off. 22.75, I say. Yeah. Okay, so right in around this area, very key, next area of support. And then we also have the 21.75 to 21.50 area, which is the area where we broke out from. That would be support number 3. Okay, so if I am shorting, these would be my targets areas here, and that's what I'll be looking for. And I do like the short more than I do the long here tomorrow. With that said, that's FSLY. I hope you guys enjoy this little analysis here. Next up, NVDA. NVDA, very interesting today. I traded it. And posted the recap on Twitter and Discord. I'm going to post it on my Facebook later. It's basically a screenshot of my entries and exits. Okay. I want to talk about NVDA because this, to me, looks like a very easy trader for tomorrow, okay? Overall, for the past couple of days, the stock has been trading within this range. After its positive earnings breakout here, okay, we see the stock trading in and around the 172.25 and 170 area, okay? We also see that after the earnings, it had made some sort of a range breakout. So here, if I block this off right here on the 30-minute chart, you'll see a very clear defined range, right? Right around here. So it broke out of this range of 167-ish to 169. It broke out, and the past 2 days it held and made a new consolidation range higher from the previous range, right? So overall, the stock does look bullish. However, coming into the daily chart over here, we have a doji candle which proves indecisiveness. I'm looking at this stock right now, and today it tried many times at the 172.25 area. Okay, so anywhere from 172 to 172.25, it topped out here, and it already had like 2 chances to break out and run from there, but it didn't. Like yesterday, it broke out from here. It couldn't hold. Today, it broke out from here. It got stuffed back down right away. So that tells me somebody doesn't want it higher than this 172.25 area. That's probably as high as it can go for at least tomorrow, in my opinion. Looking at this right now, very overextended still on the daily chart, is overextended from 9 EMA, right? So there is a slight gap to fill. We do know that the 170 is a very key support though. So this 170, if it snaps, then there's a big downside to it. If this 170 snap, there is nothing much holding between the 170 to 169 area until it comes right back down to this 169, right? And then from here, it might just falter and completely go to shits, depending on what the market does tomorrow. Okay, so I do like the short idea more. Gonna watch how it behaves tomorrow in the pre-market, right? In the pre-market, I mean, it tested so many times in and around this area and couldn't break out. Why not, right? I'm asking myself, why is this not breaking out? And after hours, we see fading. We see fading underneath this range right here at the 170, 150s area. It's trading under it, okay? Pre-market, you might see a little bit more fading. And if it does, I'm going to look for a pop and drop. If it opens sideways pre-market, I'm still looking for a pop and drop. I'll be watching this 172.25s area and bring it right back down and trade it to the 170 area. So we have a concise range to trade from. Short from the 172 area, buy from the 170 area. Look for confirmation of support and resistance first though, before you get in the trade. So there you have it, 2 plans, right? If it gets above and break out of these 2 levels here, then you wait for confirmation and then get long, or wait for confirmation and then get short, right? So that's the plan on NVDA. ROKU is next. ROKU, I have support at 138 and 136.5. What's interesting about ROKU is if I zoom out real quick here, I find the dip today very interesting, and it found some sort of exact price point. So let me draw that trend line, and you will see that from this day we have a very concise uptrend that it's following. Now, I wouldn't say that you have to follow this uptrend to the T, because as you can see, it leaked through it, but it got bought right back up. Leaked through and got bought right back up. It has the potential to leak right through the uptrend and really hurt you. Okay, so I use the uptrend line more of as a guide. Now, as far as support goes, today's action, we dip held right on this trend line, and then we are making higher lows from here. And the first support I'm looking at is 138, and then the second support here I'm looking at is this trend line, 136.50 area. Okay, so that's basically what I'm looking at if I'm gonna buy it. The stock on the daily chart looks pretty bullish. It looks like it's about to break out and make another leg. We know the highs here is at 140. And then also 140.50 is the all-time highs. No, for the prior few days highs, 140.50. And then from there, after 140.50, we are testing this all-time highs here at 142. So I do like the long if it holds a dip here around the 138 area or 136.50 area. I do like that long, and I like it to retest this all-time highs at 142. Okay, and that's pretty much my thesis on ROKU. Finally, on the side watch, I have BABA, looking pretty weak because they announced that they are going to delay the IPO in Hong Kong, their IPO listing, amidst the Hong Kong protests right now. Now, what's important to watch here tomorrow is the $170. 170 key psychological whole number and support area for the stock. Today, it almost reached and bounced right back up. Even though it's been failing for the past few days, tomorrow it is Friday. Eventually, the stock did get bought back up after this heavy dip, and it no longer started to trend lower. So I do like it to retrace or fade back what it lost yesterday. Noting the resistance here at 172.50, okay, and looking at how it opens tomorrow pre-market. So for near-term resistance, 172.50 area, okay, that's a big watch for me. It needs to hold above 172 for me to have some confidence in longing, or if it dips out tomorrow and retest this 170.50 to 170 area and double bottoms, I like the long. I like the long from here if it holds. If it holds, so that's the key word. So yeah, so looking for that on the side watch. Tomorrow we also have Foot Locker announcing pre-market. They're announcing their earnings, and then that's pretty much it for my watch list. Thank you for watching. I know this watch list was a little bit longer. Definitely give me a like and a thumbs up if you enjoy what you watch and the analysis. And I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Ciao.